This show is brought to you in part by viewers like you who joined a Patreon or become YouTube members. Thank you. And if you could, hit the like button and subscribe if you want more Browns-focused content.
You know, I've lived through, unfortunately, a lot of bad seasons for the Cleveland Browns. A lot of seasons where there's not a lot of winning. A lot of seasons where there's not a lot to be excited about. But this season, while the record is terrible, while the team certainly has issues that at this point in the year, you know, can only really be fixed in the offseason, there is something that makes watching these Browns games this year worthwhile. And that is Myles Garrett's chase for the single season sack record. Myles Garrett, in a year that has offered us a lot of frustration, is now the main motivation for the rest of the season. I can tell you this right now. The difference between the Browns finishing as a 3-win team and as a 5-win team is very minimal to me. It's not going to change how I feel about people on the coaching staff. It's not going to change about what I feel like needs to be done to the roster overall. It's not going to change what people feel about what needs to be done to the organization overall. But the one thing I have to root for, the one thing that gets me excited to watch a Browns game on Sunday, or at least the main thing that gets me excited to watch a Browns game on Sunday, is Myles Garrett's chase. Obviously, there's other things, right? The watching and monitoring the development of Shedeur and Dylan as they play, monitoring and being excited about the future of the rookies and the young guys on this Browns roster who I think have shown promise, especially guys from the 2023, 24, and 25 classes. There's obviously those things to be excited about, those things to watch, but let's be real. The season is now about Myles Garrett. How you feel about this season can only really be affected not by wins, right? The Browns winning 4 games versus 3 games, not going to change how you feel at the end of the year. But Myles Garrett getting that sack record or not getting that sack record will. It's the thing that's going to determine how we feel about this season. Now, one of the best things to come of this is that it finally feels like Myles Garrett is getting all the flowers he deserves. I'll tell you more about why I feel like that's the case in just a second. But first, I got to thank my sponsor, Sleeper. Real quick, just want to let you guys know Sleeper has a new offer here. They're offering a free $20 entry, no deposit required. And also, if you're a first-time user, you also will receive a 100% match on up to $100 when you use the promo code WORSTTAKE. Again, $20 free, no deposit required. Plus, first-time users also receive a 100% deposit match up to $100. Join Sleeper. All right, so I talk about this, right? Myles Garrett finally getting the respect he deserves. And look, from most people, that respect has been coming for a long time. You've ever heard how some of the best players in the league talk about Myles Garrett. It's always been there. It's nothing new. It's not nothing he's not used to, right? But it's nice to hear from the media. It's nice to hear from former players. Here's Michael Strahan talking about it.
The one guy who does it best, but the team just can't get together, Myles Garrett. Myles Garrett, there's no one like Myles Garrett. He's one of my favorite, most
What
dominant.
makes him so special?
Because he can do everything. He for a guy that his size and of his strength, he can power over you. He can beat you around the edge. He opened at the hips like a Derek Thomas used to do, which was always
Show me what you mean.
you want to show me?
Yeah, show me what you mean.
You know, to go up the field and then to be able to open and come inside or outside. He has the ability, like most big guys don't, to really get a clean up the field and a really clean underneath. Most guys, you're a little stiff in the hips.
Got it.
So
Okay.
but his strength and everything, no one like him. Michael Parsons is special. T.J. Watt is special, but I don't think there's anybody like Myles Garrett.
Here's a clip of some of the best players on the 49ers talking about Myles.
Hey, sorry, what? I don't care if I ever see your ass again on this.
Hey, damn right.
You're the best ever, bro. You're the best
Appreciate
ever.
you, man. You too, brother.
Appreciate you, man. Hey, Myles. I love you, brother.
Appreciate you, man.
Go get that record, man.
Yes, sir. We'll do.
Good job.
Best to ever do it, dude.
Appreciate you, baby.
Honor to share the field with you, man. Seriously.
It's my honor. Love watching you, brother. Love.
Love you, man.
You can judge a player by how those who played against him talk about them, right? Like that's always been one of the highest standards a player could live up to, because there are players that sports writers love that players who played against them don't really revere in the same way for different reasons, right? Eli Manning being a perfect example of one. When you talk about Eli Manning to a sports writer, they have reverence for what Eli did, the 2 championships, beating Tom Brady. But you go player to player for Eli Manning and you get some different stories. Some people have reverence for Eli. Some people, like Ryan Clark, talk about how easy it was to play Eli, how they never felt like Eli was one of them dudes they had to be worried about. Myles is a lot different. I've made this point for years. You ask offensive linemen to talk about Myles Garrett, they always start the conversation with giving you a raspberry, right? One of those, like he's so difficult to talk about. He's so difficult to stop that you can't even comprehend in words what it's like. You can hear the respect that other players have had, especially and most importantly, other offensive linemen have had for Myles Garrett by just surveying the post-game interviews. I mean, how many clips do we have of players approaching Myles who have just battled against him and they're just in awe of what this guy's able to do? We saw the clip of Roger Rosengarten, right? We just saw the clip from San Francisco. There's so many clips. I remember Andre Dillard, who was trying to block Myles against the Titans, the game that they put 2 tight ends in rotation for Myles. Like, this is a player unlike anything we've ever seen. He is somebody that Hall of Famers, first ballot Hall of Famers, are willing to call one of the greatest, if not the greatest of all time. I mean, think about the kind of people who are saying this stuff about Myles. No disrespect to me or any of my colleagues, but it's not just sports writers saying it, right? It's everybody, right? Think about it like this. And look, I mean, no disrespect to T.J. Watt when I talk about this, but it's going to come off as disrespect because for the longest time, people treated T.J. Watt as if he was a peer to Myles Garrett. And look, Myles Garrett is a great player. T.J. Watt is a Hall of Fame player as well. But there's levels to this shit, right? I brought up in a video that this rivalry between Myles, it started as Magic and Bird. I was there. The early days of it, they were trading blows back and forth, right? It was also reminiscent of Magic and Bird for other reasons. And if you know those other reasons, right? But it was back and forth. It was even. It was seen as like, oh, look at these 2 great players of their time on rival teams battling it out. And it was like that for a while. Look, we could be disrespectful to TJ Watt now because he's not who he used to be. And no disrespect to TJ, but who he used to be was much better than who he is now. But he was legitimately, for a couple of years, going band for band with Myles Garrett, if not outpacing Myles Garrett in a couple of numbers. There was reason for TJ Watt to feel underrated and underrepresented in that conversation. Then Myles got better. Right? It turned out when Myles Garrett was going band for band with TJ Watt, and that was TJ Watt's peak, that was just the beginning for Myles Garrett. And then Myles Garrett got so much better that he kind of eclipsed the conversation of being compared really to any of his peers. It's not just TJ Watt. It's fruitless to compare Myles Garrett to Trey, who's also really good. It's fruitless to compare Myles Garrett to Micah Parsons, so much so that Micah Parsons himself, while he's in the league, has admitted this. Like, yeah, Myles is just, he's the one. It is what it is. You know how good you got to be for a competitor like Micah Parsons to just be like, nah, I ain't it. Right? Remember that one year Myles won the Defensive Player of the Year and people tried to act like it was controversial, and Micah Parsons himself was like, nah, he deserves it. Like, this is the kind of respect that Myles Garrett has commanded from his peers because he's always been this special at football. But now he's getting that respect from everybody. Right? What started as Magic and Bird for football turned into LeBron and Carmelo, right? If you don't remember, LeBron James came out, Carmelo Anthony came out, and look, Carmelo was a little bit ahead of LeBron for a little bit of time because Carmelo was a year older. Carmelo had played in college. Carmelo had a more NBA-ready game, right? Like Carmelo, and he was on a better basketball team than the Cavaliers, which meant that Carmelo was playing more meaningful basketball more early in his career. And for a little bit of time, a year or two, people looked at Carmelo and LeBron, and some people said, I don't know. I think I take Carmelo. Just like they said at a certain point, some people were like, I don't know. I think I take TJ. And then LeBron started to become LeBron. And we learned that, oh shit, Carmelo's peak is just LeBron's beginning. And LeBron kept going up and up and up and up and up. And that's what this conversation has resembled for a while, right? It went from Magic Bird to Bron Mello. And now, I mean, TJ Watt's not been playing good at all recently. And that's not even just comparing him to Myles Garrett. Like, they're pretty upset with what TJ Watt's been putting up for being paid as much as he has. And now it looks like, you know, Myles Garrett versus it looks like LeBron and his rivalry versus the Wizards. It's truly remarkable what Myles Garrett has been able to do. It's truly remarkable the amount of respect Myles Garrett has been able to command from his peers. And I think it's something that we should never take for granted, just how good Myles Garrett is. Is he alone good enough to win you a championship? No, but man, I hope we get good enough soon enough to get this man a championship and multiple championships in Cleveland. I hope his patience and his faith, and look, he took some money too, right? Like, it's not all faith here, but I hope the patience that he showed this summer by sticking with Cleveland, by not making it a whole contract thing throughout the year like he could have, I hope that gets rewarded with the Browns getting their act together soon and getting to championship games. Because while he could go somewhere else and win a title, I truly believe that in his mind, this is the case. It will never mean as much as doing it in Cleveland because he was here first. This is home for him, right? And look, you can say what you want about that concept, but I saw the greatest basketball player of all time, this be true for him, and LeBron James. LeBron won all them rings outside of Cleveland, but the one he always talks about first, 2016. It's the one that means the most to him. It's the one that has all the iconic iconography around LeBron James, right? All the phrases are centered around that championship appearance and that championship victory. 3-1 lead, LeBron Undertaker shirt meme, LeBron and his Cleveland, this is for you, right? Like all of that, all of the iconic LeBron things that once he retires, we'll be talking about for the rest of our lives are centered around that 2016 championship because that's the one that means the most to him, right? Like you don't got a quote for his 2012 championship. You know what I mean? Like it means a lot to him, I bet. But boy, did the one in Cleveland hit the hardest. obviously because it was historic, but the blog, everything about it. That is, whenever you're like, when you are an old man in 30 years, you watching this video, if you're young, or maybe if you're somebody who is a little bit older than me, when in 20 years, somebody young asks you, what was LeBron James about? What was LeBron James like? What's the essence of LeBron? You're going to try to sit them down and make them watch one of them games from the 2016 finals. You're probably going to sit them down and make them watch the game 7 of that finals. Because that's LeBron. That's what everything that has been associated about LeBron and his greatness has been associated with. And it's the same thing for the Cavs, right? The Cavs will never escape LeBron because they shouldn't. Everything they do is going to come back to that 2016 title. It's the most iconic thing the franchise has ever done, obviously. But this is not about the Cavs. It's not a video on my Cavs Murder channel. We're talking about LeBron. But when we talk about greatness, you got to compare them to greatness. What we are watching with Myles Garrett is greatness. It is greatness that we have only seen on a comparable level at their position in their sport to LeBron. Now, obviously, the accomplishments team-wise aren't the same because football's a much different sport. Myles Garrett can only control the defensive line on the defensive side of the ball, right? He doesn't have the control over the game that a LeBron does. And that's frustrating for Myles and that's frustrating for us because we would love for this sport to be structured in a way to where having Myles Garrett made us a championship contender, but we need more. Myles Garrett, what he's doing right now, how he's been able to do it. I see the NFL tweet, oh my God, he's doing this at 272 pounds. And the thing that's crazy is that he's been above 272 for a long time. Like everything that you're seeing Myles do, he is a once in a generation athlete, truly a once in a generation athlete. And we should just appreciate it. And I'm so happy that Myles is getting his flowers. I'm so happy that Myles, after that rough patch, after the Pittsburgh game in this season, he hit a different gear. He hit a different gear in his play. He hit a different gear in his leadership. Like he pissed me off after that Pittsburgh game. It's about as mad as I've ever been with Myles. And instead of folding in, crossing his arms and complaining about the Browns stinking, he didn't do that. A lot of players would have done that. He said, no, I'm going to put my head down and I'm going to work even harder. I'm going to tell everybody else to work harder. And you're seeing that. And that means to me, what joy this season can bring is not with winning and losing. It's with Myles Garrett getting that sack record. And that's going to be the crown jewel of this season. Y'all tell me what you think in the comment section below. Y'all have a great day. Have an even better night. Peace.